Kiss 105.3 and 1340, where hip hop and R&B lives. This is D-Sewell, the Wolf of Dixon. We have a special interview tonight. We got my man Big SMO. What's good, Big SMO?
What's up, DJ?
Man,
out here in Tennessee, you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
When I say,
for sure. Big SMO, this is huge having you on. A lot of people don't know about country hip hop, man, so we're going to get into it. Big SMO, let's just start from the beginning, brother. Where are you from, and how did you first get into music?
I'm from Middle Tennessee, about an hour south of Nashville. And I've been in music my whole life from when I was, a young kid, probably around 5 or 6, first starting to listen to my own tapes. Hank Williams Jr. and Johnny Cash and Fat Boys and Run DMC, and then just from being exposed to multiple genres of music with what I listened to and what my father listened to, my brother listened to, I just kind of took in all angles of music, you know what I'm saying, all genres. And I just grew up really enjoying every single genre of music. So when it got to the point where I was at a place in my life where I started to make music, I just, it kind of just came out that way. So it's always been kind of an undefined genre that I live in because I enjoy expressing myself musically in so many different ways. Overall, I'm a rapper when it comes down to lyrical delivery, but, there's just been a real cool way of mixing hip-hop, country, pop, rock, funk, jazz. We've mixed it all together. So I'm a mutt. I'm a music mutt.
For sure. My first time hearing that, Smo. I like that. So what was your first time going in the studio like? Like, how was that experience?
Well, for me, the first time in the studio was my own studio. I started in my parents' basement with a little drum machine and a 4-track tape recorder. So, at first I was self-taught on how to make a beat with the old Boss, drum machine where all you had was, like a kick, snare, hi-hat, and a bass line.
Yeah.
And then I learned how to cut that over onto a tape recorder and dub my vocals on top of it. So the first studio session for me was really in my parents' basement, which it seems kind of, the way it should have been.
Yeah.
And from there, it just evolved into my bedroom. I was doing this before you had a computer in your home. You know what I'm saying? Then when computers came out for consumers, then we moved on up to recording on programs. But it was always in my own studio for a long time. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't in another studio. It wasn't until I got, recognized and signed a record deal with Warner Brothers that I had went into a major studio.
Okay. So, Smo, what made you want to rap? Like, what made you even want to invest in that and put your time towards that?
Yeah, I really enjoyed writing poetry, and I enjoyed writing short stories. And I think it was more of like storytelling that made me want to be a rapper. This was for me. It was watching Johnny Cash and like Jerry Reed tell stories. You know what I'm saying? And then listening to the Beastie Boys and some old hip hop. Diggable Planets and stuff like that that we listened to back in the day, like hip hop that most people wouldn't even know about today is what we were on back then. And then just taking those and learning how to wordplay and rhyme scheme and everything, and years of just evolving. You know what I'm saying? And you fall into where you enjoy rapping so much. It's just how you get your emotions across.
For sure. Smo, I did my research on you, man, and I seen that you started rapping in 1999. And your big video, Kicking It in Tennessee, went viral in 2010. Smo, what were you doing between that time? Can you tell everybody about the grind? Something that I love that you talk about is not skipping any step. So can you tell people about that grind from 1999 to 2010 when you really got on, I guess?
Man, it was a lot of struggle and a lot of hustle. And if it wasn't for tools like the internet coming along, you know what I'm saying, and things like MySpace and YouTube and just social media platforms in general before they were a way of life, I may have not ever gotten heard, and this may not be as big of a genre as it is right now, you know, with country rap. And whenever I had learned how to, you know, kind of produce my own music and record my own music with a good friend of mine, we just locked in and created our own studio, our own lab, and we started, you know, just writing and producing and recording and learning how to mix and master. And we put out the first album in 2002, which was Country Kitchen.
Okay.
And then after that, we took some time. I think it was about 5 years. We sat back and like really focused on developing our sound. You know what I'm saying? My partner went to SAE in Nashville, went to recording school, and he got the real education. And you know, I was still working, doing construction work, pouring concrete, raising a family, and then writing and rapping on the side. You know what I'm saying? With what little time I had, so it was just a real grind between when we first started and we first put something out to where it took traction. But you know, it was all the tools that we had in place that made it possible. Like I said, if it wasn't for the internet, you know, and just YouTube, you say like Kicking It in Tennessee, that was the video that got us recognized by so many people. You know, we shot that video in my backyard with a handy cam, and we did it ourselves. We edited it ourselves, put it out on YouTube, and then, you know, millions of views later, your phone starts ringing.
Man.
So in between the first project we put out, you know, when I started rapping in 99 to 2010, we put out 4 albums and 2 mixtapes. So we just stayed on the grind, me and my team. And, you know, the team grew and the team got small. The team grew, the team got small. People come and go. Like, you know, not everybody's going to be in your life forever, but, you know, while they're there, do what you can with them and try to be productive. And that's what I did. I worked with a lot of different people. I learned a lot of different things. You know, I went out on tour with Haystack, like in the middle of all that, while I was still trying to break out. You know, I bought a feature from Haystack. He saw what I was capable of doing. He hired me, and then I worked for him for like 4.5 years as his hype man, opening act, merch guy, videographer, photographer, engineer. I mean, I did everything, you know, for him. So also, you know, a lot of what I learned was by catering to another artist that was doing bigger things than what I was doing. I mean, Haystack in 2007, I believe, is whenever I started working with him. He was doing, you know, big stuff locally in Tennessee and, you know, regionally outside. And he had put me on a major tour with ICP, being his hype man and running his merch. So I learned a lot of stuff, like watching what other artists do, you know, and working directly under other artists. So I learned a whole lot of my touring game and my merchandise game from watching, being out on the road with Haystack and the ICP. And, you know, you just got to get out here and absorb the knowledge. You know, it's happening right in front of you. You just got to pay attention.
Yes. Smo, just got a couple more questions for you. One thing that I liked that you talked about in one of your previous interviews was building your fan base, and you talked about your kinfolk. Can you speak on that and how you really go out there and hang out with your fans and touch your fans?
So another thing that I learned while I was out with that particular group of people, and I'll give ICP really the credit for teaching me how to treat your fans. You look at ICP, and they've got a huge fan base.
Yes.
Of the juggalos and the juggalettes. I mean, that's something that you got to respect. These dudes built an entire army that acts like family as a following. So, I just watched that, and I saw how they gave them a name, they gave them a purpose and something to be a part of, and they took it and they ran with it. It's the same concept. What I added, what I applied to my situation. I had a whole lot of, redneck country folk that love country music and they loved rap music, and they needed something that they could stand behind, and all I had to do was give it to them and give them a name, and that's, Kinfolk was born. And from there, it's continued to grow, and it'll continue to grow.
That's cool right there, Smo. Smo, I'm going to do one more question, but let me tell you a quick story real quick of how this interview even happened, all right? Man, about 4 years ago, I'm cool with this DJ. His name is JoJo. He's from my previous job that I had, and he kind of does booking for different universities. So he told me he would take me out on the road because I'm interested in DJing at the time and stuff. And we go to the University of Texas. So we get to Austin, and he tells me, well, tonight we got a DJ. Tomorrow it's going to be Little Flip and Chameleonaire. But we got to go pick this DJ up tonight. So we go pick this DJ up. His name is O-Rig. Me and O-Rig. So me and O-Rig talk. And at the time, he is telling me that he's quitting his job at Whole Foods, I believe. And he's going to be a full-time DJ and go on tour with this guy named Big Smo. And that's my first time hearing of you. And I've been keeping up with you ever since, man. And I totally respect what you're doing. Bro, I love the lane that you're in, and it doesn't get enough respect. And that's why this interview means so much to me, my man. So that's how this all came about.
That's awesome. Yeah, O-Rig was he was who I did this with for, man, we did this for like 15 straight years, dude.
That is so crazy.
I just saw him the other day, man. Big shout out to Rig.
He the man. O-Rig is the man. Well, Smo, let's wrap this thing up, my man. Can you tell everybody what projects you got out or what's coming up that we need to look forward to?
So we got a new video that's dropping Friday on the 26th. That'll be Country Outlaw, which is one of the singles off of the new album, Special Reserve. That album is set to release February the 23rd. We've got a few singles that have already been released off the album, some B-side singles. So you can go check all those out. Everything is under the Real Big Smo, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Check it out on Spotify. We put all of our music on Spotify first. Go follow us on the our station on Spotify is the Country Rap Takeover. So make sure you go check that out. We got a single called The Message that we just released the week of Christmas, and go check that song out. All proceeds from that song go towards the Vanderbilt Children's Hospital oncology department here in Nashville, Tennessee. So we're doing big things with some of these records. We're doing positive things with some of these records, and overall, this album that's about to drop, Special Reserve, it's a game changer. And I'm back to being an independent artist. So
okay,
it's good to be in the position that I'm in with the knowledge that I've got major label knowledge, and I'm back on the independent grind.
For sure. Well, Big Smo, man, I appreciate you. Everybody, make sure to go check out Big Smo, man. Country rap is coming up. Make sure to check it out. This is the boss of the sticks, the king of country. We appreciate you, Big Smo.
Hey, man, thank you so much. Y'all be blessed. Take care in Arkansas.
For sure. Y'all do not go anywhere. This is KISS 105.3 and 1340.